Excellent. Well, I've got my waistcoat on. Here's my story stick. So I think, we're ready to start. Now this is one of my favourite stories. It's called The Beggar and the Pear Tree Farmer. And it goes, well, something like this. Once upon a time it was, my friends, and twice upon a time it may not have been. But once upon a time it was, that there lived, in a country far away, a pear tree farmer. And his pears were the finest anyone had ever tried. The skins were golden, and when you bit into them, they were so sweet, and the juice would run down your chin. Now, on the day of our story, the farmer had picked all of the pears, for they were ripe, and put them on a long cart with two big handles and two enormous wheels, and was pushing them to the marketplace. As soon as he came within sight of the city where the market was, everybody started saying, "He's here with the pears, pass it on. He's here with the pears, tell your friends. He's here with the pears, tell everyone." Which tells you two things. Firstly, these were really good pears. And secondly, it's quite a boring city. The farmer made his way to his appointed place in the market. He set up his cart next to him, and he started to sell his wares. "Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the finest pears money can buy, only 1 silver penny apiece." Now, in those days, a silver penny was a lot of money, but these were very good pears. The farmer started selling again. "Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the finest pears money can buy, only 1 silver penny apiece." He was just getting into his stride and calling out his wares for a third time, "Ladies and gentlemen," when he felt a tug on his robe. He looked down, and there was an old beggar. His clothes all dirty and tattered, his face smeared with grime. He looked up at the farmer and he said, "Here, mister, give us a pear." The farmer looked down and said, "I'm not going to give you a pear. Go away." "Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys." There was another tug at his robe. The farmer looked down. The beggar looked up and said, "No, honestly, mister, please, go on. Give us a pear." "I'm not going to give you a pear," said the farmer. "Go away." "Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the finest pears," but another tug on his robe. The farmer looked down. The old beggar looked up and went, "Now, honestly, mister, please, go on. Give us a pear." The farmer said, "I am not going to give you a pear. Go away. You'll feel the back of my hand in a minute." Well, by this time an even bigger crowd had gathered than usual. In fact, it had got so big that the captain of the city guard came to see what was going on. She stood on tiptoe and looked over the heads of the crowd, see what they were all looking at, and then quietly walked round the edge of the crowd until she was close to the beggar. And as the farmer was starting to sell his wares yet again, "Ladies and gentlemen," the guard captain took a penny, a silver penny, out of her pocket, put it in the beggar's hand and said, "There you are, beggar. Buy yourself a pear," and then left. The farmer hadn't noticed a thing. He was still saying, "Oh, the finest pears money can buy," when he felt a tug on his robe again. He looked down. The beggar looked up and said, "Here, mister, give us a pear." Now, to tell you the truth, the farmer didn't want to sell a pear to the beggar because he'd got on his nerves so much. But everyone was watching, and the beggar had one shiny silver penny clasped in his hand. The farmer said, "Oh, all right." He snatched the silver penny, picked up a pear, said, "There you go, now go away." "Ladies and gentlemen," he started again, but was interrupted. The beggar walked forward and said, "It doesn't seem fair to me that I should be the only one to benefit from the guard captain's generosity. Here." He took one long, grubby thumbnail and ran it down the side of the pear. He split the pear open and took out a pip. He made a small hole in the road, because the road was just made out of packed mud. And he bent down on his back and put the pip into the hole. Then he covered it over, and he walked over to the fountain, got some water and sprinkled it over the pip. Then he looked up at all the people around him and said, "You might want to stand back for this bit." He picked up his stick that he had been leaning on, and he waved it 3 times over the top of the pip. 1, 2, 3, and thump! Up out of the ground came the sprout of a pear tree. Something that shouldn't have happened till the next spring had taken just 5 seconds. The beggar waved his stick again. 1, 2, 3, and whoomph! There in the middle of the road was a pear tree sapling as tall as me. Something that shouldn't have happened for 3 years had taken just 10 seconds. The beggar waved his stick again. 1, 2, 3, and wah! There in the middle of the road was a fully grown pear tree with beautiful golden pears on every branch, every bough, and every twig. The beggar said, "All right then, who'd like a pear?" And he started handing the pears out, left and right, to all of people in the crowd. "Would you like a pear? Here's one for you." Soon, everyone was biting into these pears. They were gorgeous, so soft, at least as good as the farmer's, if not better, and the skins were golden and the juice ran down your chin. When every pear had been given out, the beggar looked at the tree and went, "Yeah, it's a bit messy leaving that in the middle of the road, isn't it?" He picked up his stick and he hit the side of the tree 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and boom! That tree fell over. The beggar took hold of it by the root, said, "Afternoon all," and walked off, dragging the tree behind him. The farmer had watched all of this open-mouthed. He thought to himself, oh no, what am I going to do? All these people have got pears for free. Maybe, he thought, maybe there's a few people who didn't get them and would still like to buy mine. So he started to call his wares again. "Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the finest pears money can buy." Oh dear. For when he turned to look at his cart, it was empty, and one of the long wooden handles had been snapped off. And this is when he realised that the beggar wasn't a beggar at all. He was a wizard, a sorcerer, a magician, an illusionist. When everyone thought they were getting pears from the tree, they were actually coming from the farmer's own cart. And what everyone had seen as a tree had just been one of the handles from the farmer's cart snapped off and stood up in the middle of the road. That was how the beggar had managed to pull it away so easily. All of the farmer's pears were gone, and he had only 1 silver penny to show for his troubles. He went home, pushing his cart in front of him, although it took him a lot longer than usual because it only had one handle and he went round in a lot of circles. The next year, when the pears were ripe, the farmer picked them all and put them into his repaired cart and pushed it towards the city. As soon as he came within sight of the city, everybody started saying, "He's here with the pears, pass it on. He's here with the pears, tell everyone. He's here with the pears, tell your friends." A huge crowd of people gathered, half of them to buy pears and half of them to see if the farmer would get in trouble with the beggar again. The farmer started selling his wares. "Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the finest pears money can buy, only 1 silver penny apiece. But you can be sure, that at the back of the cart, set aside from all the others, was a little pile of pears, the finest ones from that year, put there, ready, just in case somebody came up and tugged on the farmer's robe and said, 'Here, mister, give us a pear.' And that, my friends, is the story of the beggar and the pear tree farmer. Thank you so much for joining me here in StoryBeard Story Cabin. We'll be back for more tales on another day. Take care.